Hi again everyone. Today I wanted to show you what I've been learning about laser engraving on clear acrylic with a laser engraving machine. So I've learned a few things. This one I ruined because I tried sawing it after I'd done it and it cracked. So okay, but it's called an edge-lit thingamajig engraving, and the idea is that you engrave something on clear acrylic, and when you put an LED light against the edge of it, the engraved bits light up. You can't really see it very well in this light, so that bit I engraved with the laser engraving machine. This bit at the top I was just playing about. You can actually do things with a pyrography tool or a wood burning tool, which lights up really good, but unless you're really artistic you're not going to be able to do a photo quality picture. So but I'll show you that later at the end. So first of all, I prepare my image. I use Inkscape, which is a free downloadable software, and then I import the image into the program. So this is Dolly, my sister's dog, because this is I'm making this for my sister. Dolly doesn't like me since I accidentally stood on her foot when she was a puppy. She's never forgiven me. But my sister loves her, so I'm going to do this for her. Okay, so I use the selection tool, the arrow at the top there. Just click on the image, and I don't want the background on it because I don't want all this taking anything away from the actual dog. Okay, so what I do is I go on the Bezier tool, okay, and I just go around the part that I want to keep. Okay, I'm just going to do this quickly because obviously I've already prepared this image before, having already had a go of it. Okay, so I'll just go all the way around. I'll try and stay as close to the edge of the dog as possible. Normally, I'm just doing this really rough, just for speed. Okay. Okay, so it's engraved, so you can't really see the line around the outside, but it has got an outline. Okay, just click off it a second. So I want to cut this away from the background, so I need to left click and drag a box so that both the original image edge and this path that I've done, both are selected. So I go on object, go down to clip and click set. Okay, so that'll take the background away. This background is now transparent. Alright, another thing you need to do, you can do it in the laser program, but I prefer to do it here first. I can still alter it later in the laser program, but I need to make it grayscale. So I go on filters, down to colour, and then down to grayscale, just there. Click live preview so that I can see what settings to put it on. Okay, so it's a bit dark on this side here and you can't hardly see any eye. You want to see as much detail as you can. Sometimes you've got to compromise. You just got to play about with brightness and things like that and see what ends up best. Okay, that's going too dark, obviously. A bit too light. So if you have it too light, you start losing some of the darker details in it. You've just got to get a balance. I'm no expert on it, it's just trial and error. So let me just move this box out of the way because she's got a lot of markings here. So you want some dark areas, some light areas, and it's good to have grey areas in between if you're doing a photograph. If you can pick out as much detail as possible. So there's all the little hairs on her nose here, and the little twinkles in her eye. So I think I had it about roughly that before, but remember I can still alter it in the laser program as well. Okay, so you just click apply. Okay, and then it'll stay like that. What you also have to do is, when you engrave, that is the back of the work really. You want the smooth side that's not engraved showing to the front. So you need to mirror image it so that it comes out right, because obviously Dolly's got black over her right eye and it comes up over her ear, but if it was the wrong way around, it wouldn't look like her, because it'd look like she's got the opposite side of her face black. Okay, so you need to just mirror image it. Okay, and then we also have to invert the colours, because where it's dark is where it's going to be engraved, and when you're engraving it turns white, so we want all this to show up black to tell the machine to engrave this bit, but it'll end up white on your acrylic. Okay, so not always, it depends what material you're engraving on. If I was doing this in wood, then I wouldn't invert the colours, because I want the wood to burn the dark. Okay, but with acrylic, do it the opposite way. Okay, so I just go on filters, colour, and then down to invert. I don't normally mess with anything there, because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so there's only a tiny bit of detail there I can see, but I can fiddle with that again, like I said, in the laser program. I'm not going to actually save this because I was happy with what I did before. So, but I need to export this, so I click on File. If you click Export PNG Image, it'll bring a box up on this side. Okay, and then make sure your image is selected. You click Selection. Okay, you choose the image quality here. Oh, actually, as well, it helps to set your size as well. You can reset your size in the laser program, but if you set your size to what you want it in this program, it'll automatically come up as that size in the laser program. Okay, I'm not going to bother with that though, because I've already done it. So you set your pixels, and you normally have it at the same. Some people have it, say if they put 600 here, and on the laser program they'll put 300. It's something I don't understand fully about the quality change over there, about the pixels and things, but that's what some people do. I think I kept it on 300 in here, and I have it on 300 DPI as well in the laser program. And when you're happy with the sizing and the pixels and DPI and everything, you just click Export As, and then just pick where you want it to go, where you can easily find it. Okay, and you click Save. I'm not going to, because okay, now when you've done that, it's not gone there yet. You've got to click Export, then it'll go to your location where you wanted to save it. Okay. The laser engraver that I have is an Atom Stack A5. It's a 20 watt, but the bulb itself is only 5 or 5.5. I can't quite remember. I did make the mistake of thinking it was an autofocus, thinking it'll adjust itself when I got it, so I was getting really frustrated because nothing was turning out decent. But when I eventually decided to read the online manual, it's a fixed focus actually, and it needs to be, your piece of work needs to be 2 millimeters from the bottom of the eye guard there. They do recommend using the goggles as well, even though it's got an eye guard on the front. I particularly do, because my eye guard has to face, my machine has to face that way because of where my sockets are for my plugs. I didn't want to overload my extension, so okay. The laser software that I use is a free downloadable software called Laser GRBL. A lot of people use Lightburn, but that's not for free. It does look like it has more advanced settings and things like that, but this one's been fine for me. It does everything that I need it to do. Okay, so the image that I exported before, I'll just open it in this. Okay, I'll just find it. Oh, this is the one I prepared before. Okay, I hadn't, it didn't look like that. I've done something else since, and it saves the settings that you had for whatever you did last. So also I hadn't turned a dolly round in Inkscape, so I'll just do that now. Okay, I actually saved the file to this, so I'll probably use that rather than try and set all my settings that I had before, because it did work. It would have been nice if it was a little bit crisper, but the last thing I did, I only changed the power by 2%, and I don't know if it just didn't have enough definition. It was a picture of a rat. But I felt like the detail didn't come out the same. Okay, so yeah, you can mess with it in here and get your settings what you want, like your contrast and things like that. You can have it on line to line, which means your engraver's going to go backwards and forwards. You can either have it going vertically or horizontally. I've got it going vertically, so it'll go up and down. But sometimes you get it produces something better by dithering, and there's different options for that as well, which means it'll do dots. Okay, so the darker areas it'll have more dots, and the lighter areas it'll have fewer, so that it appears, it's like a false grayscaling really. Okay, you can change how many lines are together each time it goes backwards and forwards. So I had it on 12 for this. I think it goes up to 20. Yeah, it won't go past 20, but you can go right down. Okay, so when you've messed with all that, you can view the original picture as well. Okay, so this button is to invert the colours, if you wanted to, if you hadn't done it already in your other program. This is trim, so if it had a bit of an edge, you can just click auto trim. Crop, if you want to cut some off it. The mirror and the turn 90 degrees or whatever, and then you just click next. Okay, so for engraving, I actually use the software settings. Okay, some things you have to just trial and error. They might be different Okay, so it knows that I've got an Atom Stack A5 acrylic engrave, and it's suggesting 28% power at 1000 millimeters per minute, and that I'll only need one pass, which means one go, because sometimes you can go over your work again. Okay, and I would just click apply for that. I'm actually going to find the file that I found before, that I used before though. Okay, so because I saved it after I did the last work, it's just there because it had the same name. It's put it next to the other image that I used. Okay, so I'm just going to click on that. Okay, so this is how I had it before. Yeah, you can see some darker areas and some lighter bits. That's as good as I could get the eye to be picked out, because it was very dark on the original photograph. But you can still, you can still just about make it out on the engraving itself. Okay, so I need to switch my machine on. Right, so I need to prepare my acrylic because the laser doesn't actually recognise the surfaces on this. It'll just burn straight through. I think some people with an adjustable focus can get it to focus on the surface. I'm not sure if that's the case for all machines. I know a lot of people have had problems getting it to focus on acrylic, but particularly mine, because it's a fixed focus, I need to coat this with something. Now, I tried all different kinds of things like Sharpie pen, spray paint, felt tip type pens, you name it, I tried it. And what was happening was you couldn't get it off. It was, the engraving is supposed to look nice and white, but whatever I used to try and get it off, it was melting or crackling the acrylic. I'll just show you. Yeah, so it that much so that it actually cracked in half in places, but see, you just couldn't get it off for anything. But I've heard that you can use a rubberized paint, which actually it burns off nicely and you can peel it off later. But because I was so impatient, I was looking for a solution for now, because I don't want to wait to order something and wait for it to arrive. And I've found it's probably not quite as good, because you can still see very slight amount of black. I'm not sure if you can see that against my hand, but I found fairly satisfactory results with using oil pastel. Okay, so I try and get good coverage with no gaps. Just go over all the area. It's like a wax, really. If there is any gaps, I did notice in the piece that I've already done, there was like tiny little holes, but it's not taking it away from the image as a whole. Okay, so the laser will recognise this as the surface now. Okay, I'll just carry on with that and make sure I've got good coverage all over. Right, so I've got a decent coverage. There are some little pinholes, but I'm not too concerned about those. Okay, I always prop it up and leave a gap underneath the work so that it doesn't scorch the back, because the heat can be reflected, because it will go through to your wood still. The heat will reflect up and can scorch the back, which you don't want. So I just prop it up with only something thin. I've already adjusted it for it to be 2 millimeters. Okay. I don't think that's the work area, but I'll shift it in a minute. Okay, I'll just switch the machine on. Right, when the machine's switched on, you can hear the fan going. I'll just click connect, click home to make sure that it's starting in the corner. You can have your work right in the corner, or you can offset it. I already offset it for a different project, and I've just left it where it is. So okay, if I click frame, it'll show me the outer edge of the area. Okay, it'll go round, so I can make sure I've placed my acrylic in the correct place. And then I'm going to actually tape it down, because I think with this one it looked like it moved slightly. I'm not sure if it moved or it was just a bit of an error of the software reading it. Normally it doesn't do that, but okay, so I'll just click frame. I'm supposed to have my goggles on, but being naughty. Okay, so it needs to be over there a little bit, and then I'll probably do it 2 or 3 times just to make sure. Just going to make sure this mat isn't underneath. I just want burst space underneath. Probably sellotape it to death actually. Just don't want it moving. Just do that one more time. Okay, and then I'll just click the run program option just up there. It tells me that it's going to take 45 minutes. That can be readjusted. I know that when I did this last time it went up to about 55. Okay, if I need to, same as if I'm doing something that's a bit volatile, you can get flames sometimes. You can pause it, okay, by pressing the hand. It's not highlighted yet because the program's not running, and you can restart it with the running man. If you need to abort the program altogether, pause it first, and then you click the run program button. Will change to red and you can abort it there. So I'll click run because I'm happy with where the acrylic's at. Okay. As you'll see, the little hand is highlighted there. Don't know if it's in focus or not. Just there in the corner. I usually hover my hand over the mouse just in case. when I've done making my own rubber stamps, there's quite often a little flame. So I just leave it running. I do keep my eye on it, just in case there's any flare-ups and things like that. If I was running it on 100% power, I would stop it every 10 to 15 minutes, just let it cool down a bit, because apparently it prolongs the life of your laser, but because it's only on 28%, I'll let it run a little bit longer, maybe 25-30 minutes. I'll stop it halfway, just give it a little rest. I don't know how true it is, but it's best to take the advice of others that have got expertise. There's not much fumes comes off the acrylic or the pastels at all. With some materials like wood, you get a lot of smoke, or if it was a painted tile, there'll be soot on the tile. You're supposed to really have the window open and be in a ventilated area, but I haven't at the minute because there's that little coming off it. Okay, so it's finished doing. I'll just go and switch the machine off. Okay, I'll just get myself a baby wipe. Get a couple actually. Okay, so let's have a see. I can see the image already. I'm hoping it's done it as good as the other one. Okay. Just give it a good rub. So you can still see a slight bit of black, but actually with the other one I did use a tiny bit of auto sol. Just rub it a little bit. It did seem to bring off just a tiny bit more black. Don't want to rub it too much because I don't want to cloud up this area. Like I said, the rubberized paint is probably far better, because apparently you just pick it off. But it was I think I found it for almost £12 a can. It is. There was some for £7.49 or something like that, but it was pink or violet. And apparently colours that tend towards bluish colours can't be picked out by the laser as good as black, and white can reflect as well, so I suppose the test will be putting the light on. I'm not sure. I was going to say I'm not sure if it's as good as the last one for some reason. Maybe it's the layer of oil pastel that I put on, but actually it's just as good. Yeah, so it turned out alright. It's a shame that it was an old piece of acrylic that I just happened to find in the greenhouse. It's got a little nick in it there, but at least I know that if I bought a new piece of acrylic, this works and I can do her another piece. It turned out better than last time. I think it did move last time. See, it's just got little bands in it and that exact same file, so I think it was just that it moved. Okay, so I'll probably make a frame for this, and to make sure that the light reaches all the way up the side really good as well, I'll probably have a strip of lights round. Hopefully she likes it anyway. So I've just got to decide whether I'm going to engrave it with the machine at the top, her name. Sorry, my phone's gone off. Or use the wood burning tool to do the name. I'll decide and do it tomorrow, I think. Just a last little stir at it, as I always do with my pieces of work. It's just a shame about the scratches. It was the best bit of the, it was a big sheet of acrylic though, and it was the best part of it. So my frame's part done. I've used balsa wood for the inner bit and harder wood for the outer bit, which I've chiselled out a channel for the strip light to sit in. So I just got a 1-metre long strip light. It can connect to a computer by USB or a mobile phone charger. And then I just sprayed it black just before I put the strip lights in, and all the other pieces that will trap the perspex in between. But because I'm going to do my sister another one and hopefully get a bit of a deeper etch and so better engraving than this. Oh, I did use the wood burner as well just to put the name in, because just because. Maybe I'll use the engraver for a name when I do the next one, but so because I want it to be able to be replaced, I'm going to have it so that it slides in, and then it's got the top bit that I'm going to make removable. I might decorate it a bit, I don't know. I had cut a little gap in the bottom as well, just to feed the strip through as well. So I've threaded this strip light through and put my balsa pieces in the back to encase the perspex, although it still can be slid out because this top piece is removable. As you can see, my woodwork's not brilliant. I've not got any good woodworking tools. It probably needs a little bit of filler, although that might clamp down tighter. I don't want to push it because it's still drying a little bit, but I'm going to put some screws through there so that it'll be removable when I do a new piece. And I put some bling on the front. So let's test it. There you go. So apart from all the scratches and things on the perspex, but like I said, I'm going to do her another one when I've got some new perspex. I'm quite pleased with that.